Welcome to the Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take complex ideas and make them clear and, well, engaging. So, have you ever felt like that? Just stuck. You're trying so hard to move forward, but you keep hitting this invisible wall. Well, today we're going to dig into a really fascinating spiritual perspective on why that happens, and it comes from a teaching by Master Benny. We're going to talk about this idea of a karmic wall, and more importantly, what it actually takes to start breaking it down. All right, Section 1, the sickness and the medicine. So to really get our heads around this challenge, the teaching gives us this incredible metaphor. It really reframes the whole problem in a completely new way. Okay, I just love this quote. It completely shifts how you look at things, right? All of a sudden, the spiritual teaching, the Dharma, it isn't just a set of rules, it's medicine. And that means our struggles, they're not some kind of moral failing. We're not bad people. We're just sick. We have illnesses that, and this is the key part, can be diagnosed, understood, and treated. So that's the big question then, isn't it? If we're the patients, what's the diagnosis? What are these spiritual illnesses we're dealing with? Well, this teaching breaks it down into three major obstacles. Three big things that really get in our way and stop us from moving forward. Okay, so here they are, the three great obstacles. First, you've got the afflictive obstacle. This is all the internal stuff, right? The greed, the anger, the doubt, basically the turmoil inside our own heads. Then, on the other end, you have the retributive obstacle. This is the stuff that happens to us, the concrete results we see in our lives. But right there in the middle, that's the one we're focusing on today, the karmic obstacle. And this is that feeling of being completely and utterly blocked, no matter what you do. Okay, Section 2, an unbreakable wall. Let's dive deeper into this idea of a karmic obstacle, because this is the one that can feel so incredibly frustrating. It's that sensation of just hitting a wall you can't break through. And look at how the teaching describes this. It's intense. It's like being a prisoner in hell, in so much pain you can't even sweep the floor. I mean, think about that imagery. It's not just about trying and failing. It's about a state of such profound helplessness that even the smallest action is impossible. Your effort, no matter how great, leads absolutely nowhere. And this quote, wow. Imagine a wall 10 meters thick and 100 meters high. I mean, just picture that for a second. That's not a fence. That's not a hurdle you can just climb over. It's a gigantic, impenetrable fortress. And the scariest part? It's a fortress of our own making. And there's only one way out. You have to go straight through it. So that's the million-dollar question, right? How in the world do you start breaking down a wall like that? Well, to explain this, the teaching tells a really famous and powerful story. This is the story of Milarepa and his seemingly impossible task. So let's meet Milarepa. Now, this guy had some serious baggage. He'd done some terrible things, killing a lot of people for revenge, and in doing so, he built himself one heck of a karmic wall. But he wanted to change. He was desperate to clear his slate. So he went looking for a teacher. And he found the perfect one, the great master Marpa, who was basically a specialist in demolishing these kinds of karmic obstacles. So Marpa agrees to teach him, but there's a catch. He says, first, you have to complete a task for me. Go and build a house by yourself. And Milarepa does it. He puts in all the work, a ridiculous amount of work, for a very long time, hauling every single stone, every piece of wood, all alone. And finally, the house is finished. So he goes to Marpa, proud, ready for his teaching. And Marpa just looks at the house and says, this is wrong. Tear it down, and I want you to return every single stone right back to where you found it. Just stop and imagine that for a second. The absolute despair. All of that back-breaking, solitary effort. And for what? To be told to undo every last bit of it. It's just crushing. And here's the kicker. It wasn't just a one-time thing. This wasn't some simple test of his patience. Marpa makes him do it again and again. He forces Milarepa into this absolutely grueling, what seems like a completely nonsensical cycle. Build a house on this mountaintop. Finish it. Nope, that's wrong. Tear it down. Return the stones. Now build another one over there. It was just this endless loop of creation and total destruction. Okay, Section 4, demolishing a flawed house. At this point, you have to be thinking, what is going on here? This sounds less like a spiritual teaching and more like just cruelty. What was the point of all this torment? Well, as you can probably guess, there was a very, very profound reason for it all. Yeah, why couldn't Marpa just teach him the Dharma? Why put him through all this? The answer comes from another really powerful metaphor in the teaching, and it brings us right back to that idea of the wall. Okay, imagine this. You build a house, but you mess up. Big time. Like the foundation is cracked, the main structural wall blocks the only road to get to it, and all the windows face a brick wall. It's just fundamentally flawed. You can't fix that with a coat of paint, right? You can't just say, oh, I'll just knock a door through this main support beam. The whole thing would collapse. The very design is wrong from the ground up. And that's the light bulb moment. You have to tear it all down and rebuild. This is what eliminating karmic obstacles is. Milarepa's brutal physical labor, it wasn't punishment. It was the teaching. Every stone he carried, every wall he built, and then every single wall he tore down, that was the literal physical process of demolishing his own flawed karmic house. That was the medicine for his sickness. All right, section 5, your path forward. So what does this mean for us? We're not all out there building and demolishing stone houses. How do we take this incredible story and actually apply it to our own lives? So let's just clarify the difference again, because it's super important. The retributive obstacle, that's the result. It's the circumstances you're born into, like wealth or poverty. It's what happens to you. But the karmic obstacle, that's the blockage. That's the invisible force field that stops you from doing things. It's why you want to go down a certain path, but something, family, obligations, yourself, always seems to stop you. It's the can't, even when you really want to. And really, the big takeaway here isn't about punishment. The story of Milarepa might sound harsh, but it's actually incredibly hopeful. It's about having the courage to look at the house you've built, your life, your habits, your mindset, and be honest about what's not working. Recognizing that a foundation is flawed isn't a failure. It's the first brave step toward actually rebuilding something better. And that really brings it all home, doesn't it? It takes this ancient story and points it right back at us. So here's the final question to think about. If your life is a house that you've built, what part of it needs to be torn down completely and rebuilt from the foundation up? It's a huge question, but maybe one of the most important ones we can ask ourselves.